Good morning, students. Class 7, the third chapter. It is the Turkish invaders. So, first and second chapter we have completed. Please write down the question answers in any of your copies and start learning those question answers. Now, Turkish invaders. First of all, we will study about the Arabs. Arabs were the first Muslim conquerors of India. And in the beginning, Sindh was attacked by the Arabs. Muhammad bin Qasim, he was a general who conquered the regions of Sindh and Punjab. As a result, trade and cultural contacts were established with the Central Asia. Arabs attained religious and political unity in India by spreading Islam. Arabs, they were not able to extend their rule in India that time because of the strong powers of the Rajput. It was from the 8th century that the northern part of India gradually became weaker due to the constant wars which was taking place. Indian rulers were threatened by repeating invasions from the northwest side. Next, Turks. The period from CE 1000 to 1200, it saw the certain changes which took place in Central and West Asia. And Muhammad of Ghazni, they became the Turks. They became a powerful force after the decline of Abbasids, and the Turk established the two major kingdoms of Ghazni and Ghor. Please underline, it's a major kingdoms of Ghazni and Ghor. Muhammad was the first Turkish invader who invaded India from the northwest side. He was the ruler of Ghazni. During the 33 years of his region, he carried out 17 raids, underline, on India. He was interested in wealth, you can underline, rather than setting up an empire in the Indian subcontinent. Means though he was coming to India again and again, but only he want wealth, not to settle here. Muhammad needed a lot of money to organize a well-equipped army. So in order to fulfill his desire, he used to plunder India again and again. The weak political conditions of India attracted him most. He carried 17 attacks on India. Then Muhammad defeated Jaipala. He was a Hindu ruler of Punjab. Then Muhammad defeated Anandpala, led by Anandpala. Then he also invaded and plundered the cities and temple towns like Multan, Alwar, Mathura, Somnath temple, very famous temple. And then Muhammad never suffered a defeat. He annexed Punjab and thus opened the road for future invasions of India. Al-Biruni, he was a scholar who spent 10 years in India, and he wrote a book, Kitab-e-Hind, and this book contained the description of India and his various facts. This book is a valuable source of information for historians. To Muhammad of Ghazni, India was simply a vast treasure state which could be plundered to make Ghazni powerful and rich. With the wealth plundered from India, he made a beautiful capital with the beautiful, not only his capital, but beautiful buildings which include mausoleums, libraries, mosques, museums, etc. His court glittered with jewels. The famous Persian poet Ferdowsi wrote his epic Shahnama, which was the biography of Muhammad of Ghazni. So Muhammad, he died in CE 1030, and this ended his raids and plunders of India. But the successor of Muhammad, that is Muhammad Ghori, he was there after him. He were engaged in endless wars in Central Asia. Muhammad Ghori, a ruler of a small kingdom, conquered Ghazni. After 150 years of Muhammad's invasions, Muhammad of Ghori attacked India. At that time, 5 Rajput kingdoms were in power. They were Rathors, Solankis, Chandels, Parmars, and Chauhans. And Muhammad first captured Multan, then he moved to Gujarat, then he defeated Solankis. He also captured Punjab, Peshawar, and Sialkot. So this was about the Muhammad Ghori. Next, it is the Battle of Tehran.